Don't start your day without watching this Holy Spirit daily walk before your feet ever touch the floor, before the sun rises, before your phone lights up or your schedule demands your attention. There is a sacred moment. A moment where heaven leans close to hear what you truly believe, not what you say, not what you pretend, but what you know deep within. Every morning you are offered a divine invitation to walk not as one tossed about by circumstances, but as one aligned with the presence of the Holy Spirit. This is not about religion, this is not about ritual, this is about dominion, authority, presence, identity. This is about you recognizing that you are never alone, and that how you begin your day determines how your day unfolds. The world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions the moment you open your eyes, but the Spirit waits, not in noise, but in stillness, not outside, but within. If you start your day plugged into the world's fear, confusion, or chaos, then those forces will govern your actions, reactions, and even your decisions. But if you start your day anchored in divine fellowship, surrendered to inner stillness, and grounded in the quiet knowing of God's presence, then no matter what comes, you are unshaken, unmovable, directed from within. You were never meant to walk alone. The power that formed the galaxies has chosen to make its home in you. The wisdom that governs the ages desires to guide your every step, and the love that conquered death itself wakes you each morning with this whisper, "Walk with me." Don't reach for your to-do list before you reach for presence. Don't scroll before you surrender. Don't move before you abide, because the Holy Spirit does not walk beside those who are busy. He walks beside those who are available. The day ahead is not something you face. It's something you create from within, and that creation begins in the morning. So I say to you, don't start your day without this truth. This isn't just a routine. It's a revolution of your soul. It's your daily walk with power, with peace, with divine clarity, and it starts now. Your inner assumption sets the course of your day. Every day begins long before your eyes open. While the world believes the day starts with an alarm clock, the truth is, it begins the moment you assume something about who you are and what this day will become. The outer world is simply a mirror, faithfully reflecting the mood, faith, and assumptions you carry within you. You do not step into the world and then decide what kind of day you'll have. No, the quality of your day flows out of the spiritual posture you adopt the moment consciousness returns to you in the morning. There is a sacred mystery in this truth. Your assumption is a seed. A thought accepted as true becomes the invisible architect of your day. If you awaken with the assumption of worry, frustration, lack, or anxiety, then the world must conform to that inner blueprint. But if you rise with the assumption of peace, divine guidance, and inner stillness, then all that follows bends toward that inward harmony. Nothing happens by chance. All is drawn from the unseen wellspring of belief. This is why your mornings matter so deeply. You may believe that what happened yesterday or what lies ahead on your calendar holds the power over your life, but it doesn't. What holds power is the inner choice you make when you wake. In that moment, you either partner with fear or with faith. You either expect God to be present or you assume you are on your own. But you are never on your own, except when you forget that you are not. To walk with the Holy Spirit daily, you must begin by assuming His presence, not hoping, not pleading, not begging. Assuming this is not arrogance, it is reverence. It is the childlike trust that believes when God says, "I am with you always," He means it. It is the calm confidence that knows divine companionship is not earned by effort, but embraced by awareness. Every inner assumption is a prayer. It may not be spoken aloud, but the universe responds to it nonetheless. If you rise and feel within you, "I am guided today, I am surrounded, I am kept by something greater than myself," then you have sent forth a spiritual vibration that magnetizes provision, direction, and peace. On the other hand, if you assume nothing is working out, "I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to do," then you have unconsciously agreed to walk without the helper. But hear this, you do not walk through your day into the presence of God. You walk from it. You do not move toward wisdom. It moves with you. You do not journey toward favor. You carry it like oil upon your head. The only difference between a day of struggle and a day of grace is the assumption you carry when the day begins. This is the realm where truth meets experience. You do not need to feel goosebumps or hear an audible voice to know the Holy Spirit is with you. You only need to believe it. That belief, when deeply felt, becomes the spiritual current of your day. It governs your emotions, your choices, and even your encounters. What you assume, you animate. What you animate, you experience. To assume is to walk by faith. It is to shut your eyes to the facts of yesterday and the uncertainties of tomorrow, and instead dwell in the invisible knowing that today God is present, powerful, and participating in every detail. You do not need to know how, only that he is. You do not need to see the outcome, only to begin with the assumption that your steps are ordered. This sacred discipline must become your morning practice. Not a routine born of fear, but a joy-filled recognition of who you are and whose you are. Before the noise of the world creeps in, sit in silence, not to ask, but to align. Close your eyes, breathe, and assume, I am one with the Spirit. I walk in divine rhythm. I am perfectly placed, perfectly timed, and perfectly equipped. Let this inner knowing be your first act of the day, for just as the root determines the fruit, your assumption determines the outcome. You do not fight for the day to go well. You know it will because you have planted the seed of certainty in the soil of your soul. This is not mental trickery. This is spiritual law. What you believe, you become. What you become, you draw unto yourself. The mistake many make is waiting for outer evidence before choosing an inner position. But that is walking by sight, not by spirit. Your senses are reporters of the past. They only confirm what has already taken place. But your assumption is prophetic. It declares what shall be before it is seen. The Holy Spirit responds not to need, but to faith. And faith is the bold assumption that even now you are led, loved, and lifted. When you understand this, you will stop rushing into your day half-formed. You will no longer stumble into the demands of life with an empty soul and a scattered heart. Instead, you will rise like one awakened from within. Your mind will be set like flint. Your heart will be anchored. Your spirit will be aligned, and the world will have no choice but to rise to meet the truth you have chosen to live from. This is why the morning is your altar. The moment you open your eyes is the moment you shape the world around you, not with force, but with faith. You may not be able to control every event, but when your assumption is right, every event must serve your good. So before you move, before you speak, before you plan, pause, go within. And assume this one eternal truth: I do not walk alone today. I walk with the Spirit of the living God. His thoughts are my thoughts. His path is my path. His power flows through me, and this day shall reflect that inner reality perfectly. Let that assumption be the cornerstone of your walk. Let it guide your steps, shape your words, and govern your reactions. The Holy Spirit does not wait until the middle of your crisis to show up. He waits for your belief at the beginning. When you start your day from this place of conscious alignment, you'll find the world is no longer something to survive, but something that bows to the Spirit within you. Feeling is the beginning of divine fellowship before the world around you can shift. Before the doors open and the answers appear, you must feel the truth of God within you, not hear it, not recite it, not merely believe it with your intellect, but feel it in the deepest part of your being. For without feeling there is no living connection, and without connection there is no fellowship with the Spirit. Many rise each morning hoping for signs, chasing prophetic confirmations, or waiting to feel something externally, but they miss the power of inner sensation. The Holy Spirit does not force himself into your day through noise or spectacle. He arrives through the gentle yet undeniable atmosphere of feeling. It is the subtle sense of peace that calms you. It is the weightless certainty that everything is already handled. That is where he abides, not in the intellect, but in the experience of knowing. To walk with the Holy Spirit daily, your first responsibility is to feel his nearness. It is not enough to mentally acknowledge, God is with me. That is only the beginning. You must move beyond words into embodiment. Can you sit still long enough in the morning to sense the sacred calm? Can you feel the difference between being rushed and being rooted? This is not emotion. It is atmosphere. It is the fragrance of the presence of God within you. The great mystery of divine companionship is this: The Holy Spirit is always present, but we are not always aware. We are often too distracted, too preoccupied, too outwardly focused to notice that the very guidance we long for has been gently waiting within us the whole time. And so the first work of the morning is to return to this stillness, not with striving, but with surrender. To feel his nearness is not a task, it is a homecoming. Feeling is the evidence of your alignment. When your heart is settled, when your spirit is light, when your breath is deep and unforced, these are not small things. These are signals from heaven that you have remembered who you are. You have remembered whose you are. And from that awareness, fellowship begins. You do not have to shout to touch the divine. You do not need eloquent prayers or elaborate rituals. What you need is to enter into the felt experience of communion. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, settle your mind, and allow this thought to take root. I am not alone. Then feel what that means. Let it sink beneath the surface of your mind. Let it quiet every storm. The moment you truly feel it, you've stepped into divine union. In that space, guidance is not requested. It is received. Answers are not hunted down. They are revealed. The Holy Spirit does not communicate in frantic tones. He speaks through impressions, impulses, peace, and deep knowing, and these signals are clearest to the one who has stilled their heart enough to feel. Do not be deceived by the world's addiction to noise. The kingdom does not shout, it whispers, and only those who have trained themselves to feel beyond the surface can perceive it. This is why your emotions must be examined every morning, not judged, but observed. For your dominant feeling is the atmosphere of your day. If you rise feeling uncertain, afraid, rushed, or overlooked, do not condemn yourself, but recognize that you cannot allow those feelings to be the foundation of your day. Why? Because you will unconsciously attract experiences that confirm them. But if instead you pause and consciously choose the feeling of calm, of joy, of being loved, of being led, you begin to reshape the entire vibration of your reality. Do not underestimate the sacred power of this. Feeling is not just emotional. Feeling is creation. What you consistently feel, you form. What you dwell in emotionally, you manifest spiritually. That is why before the day gets away from you, you must get still enough to feel the truth of God's presence within. It is not enough to say, God is in control. You must feel what it's like to let go of control and trust. Practice this each morning. Sit with the feeling of safety. Dwell in the atmosphere of divine protection. Imagine what it feels like to be held, supported, guided from within. Let that feeling be your foundation, and your day will not unravel. It will unfold. When you move through your day from the feeling of fellowship, everything changes. Conversations become divine appointments. Delays become protection. Doors that close are no longer rejections, but redirections. Why? Because you are walking from a spiritual awareness, not from mental reaction. This is why so many wander through life feeling distant from God, not because he has withdrawn, but because they have not cultivated the ability to feel his presence. And yet this ability is not a gift for the few. It is a discipline for the willing. Anyone can develop it. Anyone can begin. All it takes is a decision. Before I face the world, I will feel the Spirit. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you won't just feel his presence in quiet moments. You'll feel it in meetings, in errands, in conversations, in decisions. You'll begin to recognize when a thought is yours and when it is inspired. You'll sense when to wait, when to move, when to speak, and when to remain silent, and none of it will come from effort. It will flow from alignment. This is not mysticism. This is divine design. You were made to walk in the Spirit, not just believe in him. And walking requires sensitivity. If you become sensitive to your inner world, you will never again be a slave to the outer one. You'll stop reacting to life and start responding to the whispers of God within you. So each morning, before your schedule dictates your direction, sit in stillness, close your eyes and feel, not your fears, not your worries, but the truth that beneath it all, God is here, right now. Within you, around you, guiding you, empowering you, loving you. Let that feeling rise until it becomes stronger than your doubts. Let it expand until it fills your entire being. Let it lead until you no longer question what to do next, because your steps are no longer your own. You are walking with the Spirit now, and every step is an echo of that inner knowing. You may not be able to explain it. Others may not understand it, but you will know it, and that knowing will carry you. That feeling will guide you, and that divine fellowship will become your lifestyle, not just in the morning, but in every moment of every day. Because once you've felt the Spirit, you will never again settle for merely believing. You will walk with him, you will live from him, and your life will become the evidence of his invisible presence, made visible through you. Every moment of your life, whether you are aware of it or not, you are walking with a presence. The question is not whether you walk with something. It is a certainty you do. The true power lies in whether you choose consciously with what you walk. To live without this awareness is to live unconsciously, allowing the past, fear, and doubt to lead you like a blindfolded traveler wandering into shadows. Most people drift through their days as if they are neutral vessels, believing they are at the mercy of events, environments, and others. But the truth is far different. You are a walking energy field, constantly attracting, repelling, and manifesting from the state you hold within. You never walk alone. Either you walk with the spirit of light, love, and wisdom, or you walk with the spirit of fear, confusion, and limitation. This is not a vague metaphor. It is a spiritual law as real as gravity. The invisible determines the visible. What you hold in your mind and heart, what you believe deep within draws circumstances, people, and experiences that align with that belief. Every feeling you nurture is a beacon, sending out waves that call back the same energy. Therefore, your walk is never neutral. It is always a declaration. Most walk unconsciously with the ghosts of yesterday, pain, regret, disappointment, replaying old tapes that drain their vitality. These memories may seem harmless, but they are powerful forces tethering you to past limitations. To walk consciously is to recognize these influences, not to deny them, but to refuse to be ruled by them. It is to say, I am not the sum of my history. I am the master of my present assumption. The Holy Spirit waits for the one who chooses consciously to walk in the new, to choose divine fellowship over worldly distraction, to let go of the familiar chains and step into the unknown freedom of spirit-led living. This choice is a daily act, a moment-to-moment decision, not a one-time event. Each morning offers the invitation to consciously decide, today I walk with God's presence, today I am led by love, not fear. When you understand that you are always walking with something, you gain power, power over your reactions, power over your decisions, power over your destiny. The outer world no longer dominates your inner world. Instead, your inner world shapes the outer. You are no longer a passive participant, but an active creator, choosing what to attract, what to repel, what to become. Walking consciously means becoming vigilant of your thoughts and feelings. It means catching yourself when you slip into fear or doubt and gently returning to the awareness of divine presence. It means recognizing that every negative assumption is a choice, one you can refuse to entertain. It means cultivating the habit of turning inward, even in the chaos of life, to realign with spirit. The great tragedy is that so many never realize the magnitude of this choice. They live defeated lives, unaware that their daily assumption is what chains them. They blame circumstances, others, or bad luck, yet the root is always within, what they are assuming, believing, and feeling. The Spirit calls each one to rise above this unconsciousness and walk consciously. This choice is not always easy. Old habits die hard. The mind prefers the familiar even if it is painful. The ego clings to control through worry and fear. But when you decide to walk consciously with the Holy Spirit, you begin to break free from this slavery. You become a new person in the moment of choice, a person who lives in faith rather than fear, in hope rather than despair, in love rather than judgment. Conscious walking also changes how you see obstacles. They no longer appear as enemies but as lessons and redirections from the Spirit. Instead of reacting with anxiety or resistance, you learn to pause, breathe, and ask, what is this trying to teach me? How can I realign? Your walk becomes one of grace, where even setbacks serve the greater purpose of spiritual growth. This awareness transforms relationships as well. When you walk with fear or resentment, you project those energies outward and attract conflict or distance. But when you walk consciously in love and forgiveness, you draw harmony and connection. The Holy Spirit within you acts as a magnet for peace. Your presence becomes a healing balm, not a source of tension. To choose consciously is also to embrace your divine identity. You are not a victim to circumstances, but a child of God, co-creator of your reality. This truth empowers you to refuse the roles assigned by the past or the opinions of others. You decide who you are by the spirit you walk with, not by the labels the world places on you. Begin your day with this conscious declaration: today I walk with the Spirit. I choose love over fear. I choose faith over doubt. I choose peace over chaos. Let this declaration be the compass that guides your every step. Let it remind you that you hold the key to your experience, that your walk is a sacred journey shaped by your inner choice. Walking consciously requires practice. It requires daily vigilance and a willingness to turn inward. It demands moments of silence, reflection, and surrender, but the rewards are immense. A life lived with purpose, clarity, and divine companionship. A life where the unseen Spirit leads you through every twist and turn. Remember, the Spirit is always with you, but it is your choice whether to walk with him or not. You cannot walk halfway. The choice is total. You either align with the Spirit's guidance or you drift with the world's noise. But once you choose consciously, everything begins to fall into place. Doors open, clarity comes, peace reigns. This is your invitation today. Recognize that you are never alone, that you are always walking with something. Choose today to walk with the Spirit consciously, to let go of old fears and limitations, to live as the divine being you were created to be, and watch how your entire world begins to reflect that choice. When you walk consciously, you don't just survive your day, you transcend it. You become a beacon of light in the world, a living testament to the power of inner choice and divine fellowship. The Spirit is waiting. Will you walk with him today? The morning is sacred. It rewrites the day before it happens. There is a sacred power held within the morning hour that most overlook. It is a quiet moment before the world's noise awakens, before obligations crowd your mind, before distractions claim your attention. This time is not ordinary. It is the gateway through which the unseen realm meets the seen. The morning is sacred because it is when you rewrite your entire day, before it has even taken form. Many approach the morning as a mere routine, an automatic start to a busy schedule. They rush from bed to task, from obligation to obligation, unaware that this hurried beginning sets the spiritual tone for everything that follows. But those who understand the sacredness of the morning know that it is not just a beginning, it is a creation point. What you think, feel, and assume in this hour plants the seed for every experience, encounter, and outcome in the day. This is the secret of divine influence. You do not wait to respond to the day's challenges. You shape the day before challenges arise. The unseen world is alive and waiting for your command. It does not merely observe your life, it participates in it. The thoughts and feelings you hold in the morning ripple through the invisible currents, attracting events that correspond to the vibration you carry. To recognize this sacredness is to take your morning seriously, not as a rush to survive, but as a sacred ritual of creation. You are the artist, and the day is your canvas. The brushes are your thoughts and feelings, the colors your assumptions, and the masterpiece is the life you live. When you begin with peace, purpose, and presence, you create a day infused with grace. When you begin with chaos, worry, or distraction, the day must reflect that turbulence. The morning is your altar. It is the place where you offer your first acts, not of work, but of worship, worship of your own inner divinity and divine companionship. This worship is not about outward formality, but inner alignment. It is about tuning your mind and heart to the frequency of peace, faith, and expectancy. It is about setting your course by the unseen compass of the Spirit. You must guard this sacred time fiercely. The distractions of the world, the demands of others, and the endless to-do lists threaten to rob you of this holy hour. But if you surrender this time to your inner sanctuary, you claim the power to rewrite your day. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a conscious creator, shaping life from the source of spirit within. In this sacred hour, begin with silence. Let the world wait. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Let go of yesterday and tomorrow. Stand firmly in the presence of now. In this presence you will feel the Holy Spirit's breath, a gentle whisper that refreshes and renews. Allow this whisper to guide your assumptions, for what you assume in this moment sets the entire stage. The mind is powerful, but it must be tamed. The morning is the time to still its chatter and listen to the voice within. You do not ask the Spirit for guidance as if it were distant. You acknowledge that guidance is already present. You simply become still enough to receive it. The sacredness of the morning lies in this willingness to be led, to surrender control, and to trust in the unseen orchestration of your life. When you honor the morning, the day unfolds differently. Decisions become clearer, relationships flow more easily, challenges soften into opportunities. Why? Because you began your day with an inner reality that is higher than any outer problem. You began from a place of divine assurance rather than human anxiety. This is not magical thinking or naive optimism. It is spiritual reality. The invisible realm has laws as certain as any physical law. One of these laws is that the first thought of your day is the foundation stone of all that follows. Build it on rock, not sand. Choose thoughts and feelings that uplift and inspire, not those that diminish and drain. The sacred morning also teaches you the art of conscious creation. You learn that your life is not something that happens to you, but something you shape moment by moment. You learn that the power to change your circumstances lies not outside, but inside. The moment you accept this, you step into your authority as a co-creator with the Spirit. Each morning offers you a new chance to begin again, to set aside yesterday's burdens, mistakes, and regrets. The day has not yet formed. It is a blank slate, and you hold the pen. What story will you write? Will it be one of faith, peace, and love? Or will it be one of worry, fear, and doubt? The answer lies in your morning assumption. Make a sacred habit of speaking a powerful affirmation at the start of your day. Speak it with feeling, conviction, and expectancy. Say, I walk today in divine peace. I am guided, protected, and loved. Every step I take is led by Spirit. The day is mine to create, and I create it with joy. Let these words be more than sounds. Let them be the felt experience that shapes your reality. Remember, the morning's sacredness is a gift to those who choose to receive it. It is the hour when the heavens draw close and the earth listens. It is the moment when your soul's direction becomes clear. It is the space where you meet the Spirit, not as a distant force, but as your closest companion. When you cultivate this sacred morning walk, your life begins to transform in ways you never imagined. The small annoyances no longer derail you. The heavy burdens no longer weigh you down. The uncertainties no longer paralyze your faith. You become a vessel of calm in a stormy world, a light that shines steadily, unwaveringly. You begin to see that the morning is not just the start of a day, it is the renewal of your spiritual covenant. It is the moment you remember who you truly are and whose you are. It is the sacred space where you declare, I will not be moved by outer circumstances. I will be led by the Spirit within. This daily sacredness creates momentum. It builds a reservoir of peace and faith that carries you through the challenges and joys alike. No matter what the world brings, you have already anchored your spirit in the unshakable presence of God. So never underestimate the power of your morning. Protect it, honor it, begin each day with intention and reverence. For in this sacred hour you rewrite your story, you choose your path, you declare your destiny, and you walk with the Spirit, who transforms every moment into a divine encounter. Trusting the invisible. Faith that moves your day. Faith is not a vague hope or empty wish. It is the unseen force that moves mountains and rewrites realities. To trust the invisible is to live by a power beyond sight, beyond proof, beyond circumstance. It is the sacred art of believing in what cannot yet be seen, knowing that what is unseen holds the true substance of your life. This faith, practiced and lived, is what moves your day from chaos to calm, from confusion to clarity, from limitation to limitless possibility. Most people live by sight. They wait to see before they believe, but this is a reversal of spiritual law. The invisible must come first. Faith must precede the form. The world you see is the shadow of your inner assumption. If you wait for the shadow before you choose the assumption, you will always be waiting. But when you trust the invisible, you take the first step into the new, and the visible world must conform to your belief. Trusting the invisible is not blind optimism. It is a deep knowing rooted in the presence within you. It is the conviction that the Spirit who formed the universe also forms your daily reality. When you walk in this trust, you cease to be tossed by the waves of circumstance. You become anchored in the unseen foundation that holds all things together. This trust is cultivated in the quiet moments of your day, especially in the sacred morning hour. It is in those moments that you speak to the invisible as if it were already present. You imagine your desired outcome fulfilled. You feel the reality of your prayer as though it has already come to pass. This is not wishful thinking, but spiritual alignment. You are tuning your inner instrument to the frequency of the Spirit's promise. To move your day by faith means to hold your assumptions steady, even when external evidence seems contrary. It means to believe in the promise rather than the problem. This steady assumption is like a lighthouse in a storm. It guides your thoughts, feelings, and actions toward the desired reality. Without this faith, your energy scatters. With it, your energy converges and creates. The invisible is always present. The Spirit's presence is constant, but your awareness of it depends on your faith. When you trust the invisible, you open your spiritual eyes and begin to see beyond the surface. You perceive the signs, the subtle nudges, the divine synchronicities that confirm you are on the right path. Your day becomes a dance with the unseen, where faith leads and form follows. This trust transforms how you respond to challenges. Instead of fear or frustration, you meet difficulties with calm assurance. You know that what you see is not all there is. The Spirit within you is working on your behalf, weaving circumstances, shifting energies, and preparing the way. Your role is to keep faith alive, to hold the invisible firmly in your heart. Faith is also an act of surrender. It does not mean forcing outcomes or manipulating reality by sheer will. It means trusting that the divine intelligence that created you knows the perfect timing and way. When you surrender your worries and doubts, you make space for miracles. The invisible moves when you release control and open your heart to receive. This trust is strengthened through daily practice. Each morning, you renew your commitment to walk by faith. You affirm, I trust the unseen guidance of the Spirit. I believe in the fulfillment of my good. I release all fear and doubt. These words are not empty phrases, but keys that unlock the door to the invisible realm. When you live by faith, your entire perception shifts. You no longer see problems as obstacles, but as opportunities for divine intervention. You no longer depend on circumstances to feel secure, but find security in the presence within. This shift changes your energy and magnetizes the good you seek. Trusting the invisible also deepens your relationship with the Spirit. It becomes a dialogue, a communion, a partnership. You learn to listen with your heart, to feel with your soul, and to act with courage born from faith. The Spirit becomes your constant companion, your guide, and your source of strength. This faith is contagious. It inspires those around you, creating a ripple effect of hope and possibility. When you walk with trust in the unseen, you become a beacon of light in a world often dimmed by doubt. Your life testifies to the power of belief, encouraging others to awaken their own faith. Remember, the invisible is not a distant dream, but a present reality waiting for your acknowledgement. It is the power behind every breath, every heartbeat, every moment. When you choose to trust it, you align yourself with the divine current that flows through all things. So today, choose faith. Choose to see with spiritual eyes, to hear with spiritual ears, and to walk with a heart anchored in the invisible. Let this faith be the foundation that moves your day, the light that guides your steps, and the assurance that no matter what, you are held by a power greater than yourself. Faith moves your day because it moves you. It lifts your spirit above fear and doubt, above limitations and setbacks. It opens you to the miraculous, the unexpected, and the divine. Trusting the invisible is not just a practice. It is a way of life, a daily walk with the Spirit that transforms everything it touches. Walk by faith today and watch how your day responds. Watch how challenges become opportunities, how doubts turn into certainties, and how your life begins to reflect the invisible reality you hold within. This is the power of faith, the power to move your day, your life, and your destiny. You are always walking with something. Choose consciously.